Much. Right now, new developments in the YSL Rico case. Grammy Award-winning rapper Young Thug, also known as Jeffrey Williams, wants to visit Atlanta. Let's talk about that. Now, part of his probation is that he essentially is banned from the city of Atlanta, except for some exceptions.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to the channel. As always, I'm your host Jay, and man, today we're here with an exciting update with this Young Thug probation situation. Now, I said it from the jump when the trial was actually gone, Thug should not have taken that plea. One of the conditions was that he's actually banned from the city of Atlanta. But today, the judge jumps in and definitely throws favor towards the defense. Wow, again to the state. Before we dig deep, man, y'all make sure y'all subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed. Tap that notification bell so you don't miss a drop on any of these exclusive updates. And hit that like button. Whether you're a fan of Young Thug, the case, the state, or all of the above, hit the like button. It helps the channel continue to grow. Probation, isolation, and you can't go? Man. If you're new, make sure y'all hit that notification bell, that like, share, comment, and subscribe. Grab a seat. We finna dig deep. Now, as many of you know, Young Thug actually took a plea in the Young Thug YSL Rico trial where he was actually sentenced to probation. Now, this probation actually did come with strict conditions since he actually took this deal and made it with the state. Some of these conditions included travel restrictions, regular check-ins, drug testing, and some pretty hefty stipulations. One of the harshest ones is that he was actually banned from Atlanta, not even allowed to visit his hometown, where his family and his roots are deeply connected. Which brings us to our latest development today, a shift that the judge just made in favor of Young Thug and the defense. Now, before the end of the trial, the judge did have some exciting rulings that definitely favored the defense more than it actually did the state, which in my personal opinion definitely helped the last two defendants, Shannon and Yak. But today, the judge actually showed love and actually showed something to us Young Thug. Where the presiding judge, Judge Whitaker, actually made some modifications to his probation, allowing Thug to actually travel back to Atlanta. So as you see, right here with this order that was actually filed today, December 11, 2024, it reads as follows: based upon the consent / no objection of the probation officers in the state of Georgia as well as the state of Florida to modify Mr. Williams' sentence in the above referenced case, it is hereby ordered that if there are no violations of probation within the first 3 years, to wit, or on or before October 31st, 2027, Mr. Williams can thereafter visit his home at the address located in the city that has been provided under seal and specific address given to the probation for up to 2 weeks at a time, up to 4 times per year, non-consecutive. Now, Mr. Williams must notify probation at least 5 days prior to coming to this address for good cause shown and for safety / privacy concerns based upon Mr. Jeffrey Williams' status as a known public figure. Mr. Williams' residence shall not be revealed by probation on any public websites or to the public at all unless otherwise permitted by the Honorable Court during the term of supervision on probation. And all other conditions of probation remain in effect. So order this 11th day of December 2024, the Honorable Judge Whitaker. This was definitely a huge win for Young Thug, especially when it came to this case. He just took a plea that he probably shouldn't even have to take, which we're going to jump into in just a minute. But even more, you definitely got to salute the judge for still having character and a heart. Now, it's the holidays. This man's been isolated from his family. He hadn't seen anybody, been away, can't go see anybody physically. You can only talk to him over the phone. It's almost like another form of incarceration with freedom. Let that sink in. Now, even more interesting, if you actually pay attention to how Thug has been moving, especially when it comes to the state with this probation, man, we've seen he's came out and clearly said he feels like he shouldn't have taken this actual deal, and he's also asked his attorneys to help get him off of this probation. Because again, why did he take it in the first place? The state played on his mental just like they did the other defendants that when it came to this actual Rico trial. But he only had to just hold on, stand on business just a little while longer. Probably wouldn't even be going through this at all. But that brings us to our next point, where his team is still standing 10 toes down with him, doing everything within their means and their power to try to help get him off this probation. Now, his attorney, Brian Steele, YSL Steele, did actually file paperwork today on his behalf, asking the judge to actually remove and amend part of this actual sentence when it came to the probation stipulations. Let's dig. Now here, as you see, again filed on December 5th, 2024, motion to amend sentence. Comes now Mr. Jeffrey Williams by and through undersigned counsel and hereby files this motion to amend sentence. In support of this motion to amend sentence, Mr. Williams shows as follows. On or about October 31st, 2024, Mr. Williams tendered a non-negotiated nolo contender / guilty plea, and this honorable court sentenced Mr. Williams to probation with special conditions of the same, which include but is not limited to banishment from the metro Atlanta area for the first 10 years of probation. Jeez. 2. On or about November 8, 2024, this honorable court entered an amended sentencing sheet to further define Metro Atlanta as defined by the United States Census Bureau. 3. Mr. Williams files under seal contemporaneously with the filing of this motion the city for which one of the homes is located, which is a few miles to the most extreme border of the definition of Metro Atlanta as memorialized in the amended sentencing sheet. Mr. Williams has family in the Metro Atlanta area, specifically in Atlanta, Georgia area, and respectfully requests the ability to reside/visit at times in his home located in the city and attached under sealed document so that he can have family gatherings for holidays and other lawful reasons with his family, friends, and business associates, which is already a home owned by Mr. Williams. On Thursday, December 5th, 2024, Fulton County Chief Probation Officer Dema Whitrat advised via email that she has no objection to modifying Mr. Williams' sentence as proposed above. Moreover, on Thursday, December 5th, 2024, undersigned counsel, specifically Brian Steele, spoke with the Honorable Chief Probation Officer Carrie Mock, who explained that she is required by Florida law to reveal Mr. Williams' residence on a public website unless the Honorable Court enters an order restricting the same. For safety privacy concerns, Mr. Williams respectfully requests the Honorable Court to enter an order sealing his Florida address based upon Mr. Williams' status as a known public figure. Chief Probation Officer Mack stated to undersigned counsel on Thursday, December 5th, 2024, that she has no objection to this request. Wherefore, Mr. Williams respectfully requests a hearing on this motion, and at the conclusion of the same, asks the Honorable Court to grant the above requested relief. Now here is where things kind of get tricky and interesting, because from the start, critics have definitely argued that the state's conditions were definitely too excessive. Some even called the strategy to keep Thug isolated and subdued. Remember, probation isn't defined to set up for us to actually succeed, it's actually set up for you to fail. Just another part of the system. It's almost like continued imprisonment, and it's meant to give individuals a chance to rebuild their lives. But is it really? Let's talk about it for a minute. Did no Atlanta condition? Was that just the state actually punishing Young Thug even further? And secondly, should Young Thug have actually even taken this plea? Now, in my personal opinion, I already said from the beginning when the trial was actually going, Thug should have been one of those defendants after the other defendants before him took those pleas and pled out. They should have stayed on this case. You could tell by the look on the attorney's face that this was not what they actually really wanted to do. But again, the decision is ultimately up to Thug. Thug made the decision, so this is what he's definitely got to stand 10 toes down on at this point. My personal opinion, I feel like this probation thing was just a trap. Now, he does have enough money, power, and influence to be able to finagle and move around. But remember, probation for 15 years, banned from your hometown, imagine that. Now, even more sick when it comes to his creative art or his artistic abilities. Don't you generally need your original roots to get back into the position, to get your mind back going, to get back into your craft? Now, the state actually shutting it down, disconnecting them, still keeping them isolated to an extent, in my personal opinion, is just another way for the state to actually control how the situation unfolds. Now, they all wanted Thug the entire time. Now, his attorney actually filing this paperwork to try to get him off of this probation. It's going to be definitely up to the courts. But in my personal opinion, it will be interesting. Now, I do think that after a few years of him successfully completing probation, not having any encounters, no drug testing, no things of that where they come up where he has to come back to court, I do feel like the judge and the courts will actually overthrow and overturn that actual probation sentence. But for now, I do feel like the judge did all that she could actually do with this actual probation sentence, and that just modify the conditions. Let's dig.
Right now, new developments in the YSL Rico case. Grammy Award-winning rapper Young Thug, also known as Jeffrey Williams, wants to visit Atlanta. Let's talk about that. The rapper pleaded no contest to several charges in October. His prison sentence was commuted to time served, and he will spend 15 years on probation. Now, part of his probation is that he essentially is banned from the city of Atlanta, except for some exceptions. And Williams is asking the court to amend the agreement so that he can visit his family in Atlanta and stay at his home for holidays and family gatherings.
So here's the real question. Would the judge actually go in and soften the conditions with this actual probation sentence for Thug? Ask yourself, does it make the deal any better? Or should Thug have even taken the deal from the beginning? Personal opinion, I feel like this actual deal with the judge actually going in and making the modifications to his conditions actually just exposes the flaws with these conditions with this actual plea deal from the state from the beginning. Y'all make sure y'all drop y'all's thoughts below. Should Thug have actually stood 10 toes down and fought harder and not took this plea? or did he actually take what was in his best interest? So let's dig. At the end of the day, with this actual update, definitely a big W in favor of the defense, Young Thug, and the supporters who still believe in the judicial system. This goes to show that no matter the case, the height, or the weight, anything can actually happen and change can happen. Now, we watched the state actually put these conditions down to keep this man isolated, taken away from his actual family. Now, he's actually having second thoughts on whether he should have actually taken that deal. When I said from the jump, he should have never taken that deal. He should have stood 10 toes down because the state actually just played him. Probation, 15 years, 20 years, backlog, banned from the state, still isolated from your family. It's the holidays. What they expect from him to do? He just went through 2 years of getting money, just going out over a case, all based off of allegations from the state. So now y'all ban him from here, from the A, and he's supposed to do what for the holidays? Fly his entire family out there just to celebrate? Make that make sense. Did the judge actually get the ruling right? Y'all jump in the comments, let me know. Should Thug be able to actually go back to the A? Before you answer, and y'all jump in the comments, remember this. When he took that plea, a lot of people were saying the first thing he needs to do was pack all this stuff, get his family, and get out of the A. So with him actually filing these motions to go back to the A, will this work in his favor, or will it work in favor of the state? Y'all jump in the comments, let me know. Subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed. Tap that notification bell so you won't miss a drop whenever we drop. And tap that like button, whether you're a fan of the state, Young Thug, or the case. Tap the like button. Helps the channel to continue to grow. Till next time, remember, the greater the height, the greater the weight. The life you save might be your very own. Until next time, y'all stay safe, stay vigilant, and share the video to keep your people informed. And as always, I'm your host, Jay. Gone.